Hey there, YouTube. Let's talk Saturday, February 23rd, 2019. Another message from the bowl, and still not poop. This is a little something for the NASA and the outer space, vacuum of space, galaxy fanboys out there. All right, the ones that believe that we are insignificant and we are just one of many worlds out there, and we are not singular and we are not unique. That's your stance, that we're not unique. We're just one of an infinite amount of worlds out there with an infinite amount of life. Well, I'm gonna step into the geocentric reality model. Okay, I'm gonna get away from your heliocentric model, the superstitious fantasy pseudoscience driven model that you place so much faith in. All right, let me explain something. They're telling us that 13.7 is what they're saying. All right, you can hear up to 14.3 billion and as low as 13.5 billion years ago the Big Bang occurred. All right? Okay. Well, 13.7 is the one that was around for the longest that I remember. All right, one of them may have outlasted 13.7, but 13.7 billion years ago, I usually round to 13.5, but 13.7 is what I've been hearing for, I don't know, 30 years, 25, 30 years. All right. They're telling us that they've got these telescopes looking way out into space, seeing things that are, you know, a trillion light years away, things that are, you know, quintillion light years away, galaxies that are a quintillion light years away. Does anybody know what a light year is? All right. A light year is the distance that the light, beam of light can travel over a year. In 1 year, that light will travel 1 light year. That's how fast, you know, what is it? 186,000 miles per second? Something like that. 186,000 something miles per second it travels. All right? And they're telling us that this thing's a couple hundred quintillion light years away. All right? I don't know. Let me play God's advocate here. All right? You all can continue to play devil's advocate, but I am going to play God's advocate here. If it takes 50 quintillion light years for the light to get from that galaxy to here, how do we see it? Because we only been here for 13.7 billion. Huh? Explain that, NASA fanboy. We only been around for 13.5 billion years. 200 billion years. It don't freaking matter. Because in 200 billion years, the light would have traveled 200 billion light years. How does something get 50 quintillion light years away and then us be able to detect it? The light is still on its way here, and it's not going to get here for another couple 100 trillion years. Do you understand that? Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond. So it's not infinity. Infinity is, it's fucking infinity. And beyond, That's like saying this car can go all the way up to 150 miles per hour and faster. Well, then it doesn't only go up to 150. It goes faster than 150. That whole up to part can get erased. Just like those equations. Take the beginning and take the end. Everything they put in the middle is bullshit. Astrophysicists. Right? Astrobiologists. Yeah. They're studying life and the environment of places they've never been and of things we've never discovered. How do you discover? How are you an astrobiologist? We never discovered life out there. But you have a PhD and you are commanding an audience, a worldwide audience that believe you have the answers. You are the master and the expert of things you've never seen, never detected. They only exist in your imagination. Thus far. So you cannot be an expert in something. You can't be an expert in an unknown. You may study the unknown. You may devote your entire life to the unknown, as have I. But you will never know the unknown. Because once you know it, it ceases to be unknown. You can't be an astrophysicist if you've never been out there to experience it. You can't be an astrobiologist until we discover something alive out there. Yet they get hundreds of millions of dollars in government grants from government and my tax dollars and your tax dollars and Dave down the street's tax dollars. My brother Scott, his tax dollars. Right? My brother Faust, his tax dollars. Do you understand? Our tax dollars are paying for them to become experts. We're paying for them to rule us with a fictional narrative. Space is limitless and endless. Right? Why? Because the imagination is limitless and endless. And only in the imagination, could any of the things that they tell us about our galaxy and our reality, our existence, only in your imagination could that shit be possible. They say, well, God works in mysterious ways. Yeah, he does. And he told us what he did. Don't tell me he works in mysterious ways. And then he contradicts himself. No. Never happened. Never contradicted himself, not once. Said exactly what it was. Gave you free will. Said I'm the beginning and I am the end. Figure out everything in between that part. That's what he said. He said, I'm going to give you a foundation. I am not going to put you on unstable ground. I'm going to give you every chance to succeed. But I am also going to give you the free will to choose what you decide to do. And I will keep you alive, and I will nurture, and I will make sure that everything, all your physiological and everything going on, all your biological mechanisms and workings continue going while you seek out the sum of your free will. To whatever end. But when that's done, after you've done that, now he steps in. Then he steps in and says, remember that lamp in 79? Remember you told your mom you didn't break it? About that. Come on in. Let's have a talk. That's the way it works. He wipes out our memory so we don't remember the last time we had that talk. And we've been having that talk for a long time. And apparently, from the way it looks out there in the world now, the talk didn't go good the last couple times. Well, not for me anyway. I know I see something differently now. I see the world differently. And everybody thinks I'm cynical and I'm miserable and I've lost the magic. That's where you're wrong. See, I'm miserable and I'm down, but I didn't lose the magic. I have it. The problem is everybody around me lost the magic. Do you understand that once we take away all that fantasy bullshit about space and about all this pseudoscience bullshit, you know, the experiments that only they can carry out, and when you do it, your math is wrong and it's different than when they do it. You know, pressure equals force over area only works for them. The second law of thermodynamics only works for them. You can go out and buy the same computer program, same calculator, same Texas the TI 89E. All right, $400 calculator. All right, go out and buy that, a graphing calculator. The same ones they use. You could do the same equation with the same equipment, but yours is wrong. And theirs is right. Do you know why? Philosophical grounds and philosophical grounds only. They walked into the equation saying, I'm going to prove that we live on a ball with water sticking to the outside. Everything's being pulled away, but it's pushing in too. Yup. Everything's being blown away from the center, but it's being pushed in on us. All the planets rotate around the sun, but the moons rotate around the planets, not around the sun. We're being held in gravitational pull to the sun, and we're going around here. But then there's something else that's going around us over here. But that wasn't caught by the sun's gravitational pull. It was caught by ours. So why aren't all the moons and all the planets just going around the sun? Do you understand how circular and ridiculous and irrational the heliocentric model is? They're saying that the sun's gravitational the pull is so powerful it was able to grab onto the earth and hold it there like it's on a string. But it wasn't strong enough to catch the moon. The earth caught the moon. How's it strong enough to catch the earth but not strong enough to catch the moon? Why is the Earth strong enough to catch the moon? Why don't the Earth go around the moon? That's the fucking difference. It doesn't make any sense. It has nothing to do with mass. It has nothing to do with speed. It has nothing to do with it. It's just something that we're going to gloss over. Why? Because it doesn't make any friggin' sense. And nobody thinks about it. Because when they hit us with it, they hit us when we were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. After that, that wasn't in school anymore. You notice that we didn't talk about the planets and all that shit in high school? We didn't talk about gravity in high school. You didn't notice that? They didn't push that model on us when we were 15, 16, 17, and 18. You know why? Because we all would have declared bullshit. Everybody would have grabbed a broom and started declaring shenanigans. We only saw this in science class before we had any experience. We had no life experience when they hit us with this model. And then that gave us our foundation. And everything we looked at took that into account. And everybody says, oh, well, you're only so young. You don't even think about it. No. We don't know the intricate workings at that age. But we have the framework. We have the picture. And later on in life, we start adding the numbers and the words. But the picture's there. That ball rotating with those clouds that never move. They don't morph. All right? When the rotation of the moon and the sun to be tracked over the ball Earth, the sun does this around the ball. Up and down like that. The moon does this around the ball. Up and down. As it's spinning. You could track a line. Open the Earth. The sun does this up and down the Earth. The moon does this over the land. On the Gleason's map, the one that we use in our books. The jet stream does this. Right? The underwater jet stream, the transatlantic current, the trans-Pacific currents do this. Did you know that when you superimpose that on the FE map, the AE, the Azimuthals equidistant map, the one that the United States Geological Survey, the United Nations, and every military and paramilitary force on the planet, the map that they use, the United Nations logo, separated into 33 pieces. The only continent that's not represented on the the United Nations logo is Antarctica. But there's a wreath wrapped around the outside. On the FE map, or the Azimuthals equidistant map, proposed by al-Biruni, a Persian scientist and a master of cartography, the greatest of his time and ours. But the greatest of his time said that there was an ice ring around us, and then they named it Antarctica. Do you know that every state has a flag? Every state in the world has a flag. And the flag of